You're watching Home TV, Channel 6.
To be or not to be, major military bases, entire communities, and thousands of jobs, all in a scramble for survival.
Lives at stake, striking new evidence that women military veterans are the victims of shoddy medical care.
And Eye on America. Tonight, some good news for a change. In the wake of Hurricane Andrew, rebuilding in Florida against the odds.
You have that pioneer spirit, and that's fantastic.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather in Miami and Connie Chung in New York.
Good evening. It's the hit parade no one wants to make. The hit list of military bases to be closed or cut back. Today, some of this country's biggest and best-known Navy bases were told whether they would sink or swim. Correspondent Eric Ingberg has the story.
For Charleston, South Carolina, it was a devastating day.
What they did was try to be merciful, and what they ended up doing was being absolutely ruthless.
Across the country in Long Beach, California, it was a day of relief.
I tell you, I'm elated. You know, it's just wonderful that we're able to be saved this time.
The Civilian Commission deciding where to downsize the military today reached some of the most hotly contested bases. It voted to close the Naval Shipyard and the Naval Station in Charleston, South Carolina, and the Mare Island Shipyard at Vallejo, California, moves that will eliminate more than 12,000 jobs. To be kept open are the Portsmouth Shipyard in Kittery, Maine, the Norfolk Shipyard, and the Long Beach Shipyard.
Close Naval Shipyard, Charleston.
The double whammy fell hard on Charleston, which had even hired expensive lobbyists to argue its case.
We're going to start Monday morning bringing in any kind of new job, business, and industry that we can. We're not going to take this line down.
But the skills of many displaced workers won't easily convert to civilian employment.
No, I don't think I'll ever find a job that pays like this.
While base closings are aimed in part at spurring the economy by cutting federal deficits, no one disputes that the economies of cities losing bases will suffer for a long time.
I think it's a real tragedy, the way this is being done, because I think people's lives just get rent asunder.
Even Long Beach workers whose jobs were saved know that their future will never be secure.
We got 2 more years. That's 2 years I can put my daughter through college now.
The Commission's decisions are almost sure to be implemented because neither the President or Congress can change them without starting the process all over again. An option too painful for even hardened politicians. Eric Engberg, CBS News, Washington.
It is not just the Navy. Here in Florida and all across the country, these have been days of high anxiety for dozens of communities with Army and Air Force bases as well. Today, the panel decided to close the Newark, Ohio Air Force Base with more than 1,500 civilian and military jobs at stake. However, the commission voted to spare 4 other major Air Force bases: McClellan in California, Kelly in Texas, Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma, and Warner Robins in Georgia. Also staying open here in Dade County, Florida, is the proud Homestead Air Force Base. It took a heavy hit from Hurricane Andrew last summer. The Pentagon said it should be closed, but the base closing commission did not agree. Correspondent Reed Galen reports.
The recommendation is to keep Homestead Air Force Base open, but given what Hurricane Andrew left here, it's really more a question of not keeping it closed and giving a ravaged city time to find a way back. The base poured almost $500 million a year into the local economy.
We went to bed as a community on the night of the 23rd of August and woke up on the 24th, and not only had our community been totally destroyed, but the Air Force had gone.
Homestead struggles mightily to survive, but 40% of all buildings remain uninhabitable. It's expected the base will only house reserve units, customs, and DEA operations, perhaps a quarter of what was here before. But the fact that it will remain at all doesn't just make a difference to many.
This Larry Johnson here.
It makes all the difference.
That's fantastic. That's what I've been wanting to hear.
Bill Sanderson sells comic books and baseball cards. He used to have a lot of competition.
Before the storm, I had 16 stores in this area. Now I'm the only one.
He operated out of a trailer for 7 months and was just about ready to give up and leave, as many others have. Not now.
It's a positive reinforcement that the area is going to be revitalized.
It's hard for one military town to say it is more deserving than others. But this community was already stripped bare by the hurricane. And people here see another difference. This is a domestic base, but for many years, the front line of the Cold War ran right down the middle of this runway. From here to Cuba in a fighter jet takes about 15 minutes. It wasn't economic concern, it was location that saved Homestead. But if the sky is finally clearing here, few are asking, why us? That question having been heard too often around here. Reed Galen, CBS News, Homestead.
That question, why us, is being asked a lot these days by women veterans of the U.S. military. They want to know why military medicine is especially bad for them. Congress wants to know, too, and is preparing to answer with a new law. Correspondent Jim Stewart reports what the new law is aimed at fixing.
I was made to undress in front of two doctors with no means of privacy. They had no gowns, and I was told that the doctor himself didn't even know where to find them because, quote, we don't get many of your kind here.
Meaning women?
Meaning women.
For Air Force veteran Judith McCombs, a trip to this Bronx VA hospital wasn't just embarrassing, it nearly killed her. VA doctors failed to follow up a positive mammography exam for 3 years. Thousands of other female veterans around the country are reporting similar experiences today from a VA system they describe as ignorant, insulting, and indifferent to women's health needs, to the point that female veterans were recently found to suffer ovarian, cervical, and uterine cancer at a rate 4 times higher than civilians, a deadly disparity some blame on sloppy VA examinations. Only 75 of 166 VA hospitals even have a women's clinic, some open only 2 days a week, while at others, privacy consists of guards standing watch while women use communal bathrooms.
When I went out to the desk and made an inquiry, I was told that I had to share the community shower with the men.
What was your response to that?
I said, no, I won't. I said, no. This will not happen.
Former combat nurse Linda Schwartz awoke from gynecological surgery and a VA ward filled with staring men.
They put me in a bed in a room, not like a recovery room, but a room with 3 men and their families. And I think that everybody, I couldn't tell who was more embarrassed about what happened, me or them.
The VA knows it has a problem.
The system was treating mostly male veterans because that's what we had. The women got vocal about it and started demanding better treatment, and I think that's fair.
In just 7 years, there will be 1.5 million female veterans, many of them eligible for VA care.
If you do not provide privacy to a woman, that is negligence. If you do not provide complete physicals, that is negligence.
But the problem will be in getting it from an overburdened and increasingly underfinanced system that was designed primarily to treat only male soldiers, and arguably hasn't done a very good job of doing that either. Jim Stewart, CBS News, The Pentagon.
Live tonight from Florida and New York, straight ahead on the CBS Evening News, the blind sheikh, the FBI, and the search for clues in the new bombing plot aimed at New York City.
And a close-up look at a high-tech job that's really out of this world.
Hey, have you heard the scoop? Right now, pre-packed quarts of Baskin-Robbins ice cream in flavors like Jamocha almond fudge and pralines and cream are on sale. 2 quarts for only $5.49. So what are you waiting for?
My daughter's dance class takes about 50 minutes. Mr. Goodwrench Quick Lube Plus takes less than 29. That works for me.
Your GM dealer's serious about putting service back in the service department, and his fast or free guarantee proves it. So try Mr. Goodwrench Quick Lube Plus for a change.
So, what brings you to Clausen?
I'm looking to cook pickles. I'm a pickle cook. Pickles are what I cook. Gherkins, croquettes, dill, spears, chunks, chips. You name it, I'll cook it.
We don't cook our Clausen pickles.
You're kidding.
I never kid.
What about shelf life?
What about shelf life?
Most pickles sit on a shelf. You sit on a shelf. You've got to be cooked. I'm your guy. I'm a pickle cook.
What about taste?
What about taste?
We're just kind of picky about taste.
Unlike most pickles, Clausen pickles are never cooked. They're always cold, always crisp, always delicious.
Don't cook your pickles. That's funny. That's funny.
The FBI tonight is confirming that a serial bomber or bombers may be back at work and that college campuses should be on the alert. The FBI says a letter bomb that blew up in the hands of a scientist at Yale University yesterday is the same kind that seriously injured a California professor earlier this week. Both bombings are linked to a dozen similar attacks since 1978, all aimed at universities and high-tech companies. The FBI still has no motive, but says international terrorism is not high on the list.
The FBI is searching for more international connections in the case of 8 suspected terrorists charged with plotting to bomb the United Nations and other high-profile targets in the United States and assassinate people. Law correspondent Rita Braver, who broke this story, has the latest now from Washington.
Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman was the center of attention today as investigators tried to determine if he had any direct involvement with the bombing and assassination plot allegedly hatched by 8 of his followers. The FBI searched his New Jersey apartment last night. Rahman denied any part in the plot, but admitted that the alleged ringleader worked as his interpreter for the past 6 months.
I don't know anything about him, but that he is a fine young man.
Rahman is in the U.S. illegally, but can't be kicked out because his case is on appeal. And though he has also been linked to the group that bombed the World Trade Center, authorities say they have no grounds to arrest him. Of the suspects arrested yesterday, 5 were born in Sudan. All are legal residents, but the FBI is now investigating whether someone working for Sudan's mission to the United Nations had agreed to help them smuggle a bomb-laden car into the UN garage. Sudan's UN ambassador rejected that idea.
I deny it flatly and categorically.
But the Clinton administration today said it was concerned about terrorist outposts in Sudan's capital, Khartoum, and about the country's close links to Iran.
We know that Iran is a leading sponsor of international terrorism. And in addition, there are reports that a small number of Iranian Revolutionary Guards are training Sudanese militia.
Meanwhile, the FBI has shut down the so-called bomb factory in Queens, removed its hidden video cameras that allegedly caught the terrorists making bombs. And officials here say they still don't know for sure if the suspects arrested yesterday got help or took orders from anyone else inside or outside the United States. Rita Braver, CBS News at FBI headquarters in Washington.
Miles away and above concern about bombs and terrorists down below, 2 astronauts aboard Shuttle Endeavour put on their special gear today and went for a long walk.
That's incredible.
It was a combination spacewalk and trial run. And while they say in space no one can hear you scream, they can hear you worry.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Astronaut David Lowe looked down, saw the world spinning, and briefly felt like he was falling. Lowe and crewmate Jeff Wisoff spent nearly 6 hours walking in space to try out work techniques in orbit without gravity. But they had an unscheduled real job to do. 2 antennas on the Eureka science satellite they retrieved the other day wouldn't lock down properly. So that was the first order of business. Forget about high-in-the-sky high tech. What it took was good old-fashioned American elbow grease. Finally, 2.5 hours later, antennas unstuck and stowed.
We have declared victory.
So, mission accomplished, but not over. Next came scheduled practice to try out repair techniques they'll need for a house call in space in December. That will be a walk on the wild side to correct the bad eyesight of the Hubble Space Telescope.
There are no better pictures than those, but there is much more CBS Evening News to come, including war in parts of the old Soviet Union and what it means to the West.
Anna wants me to try something I've never tasted before.
It's the Kellogg's Music.
Don't you just love the way she talks?
The taste of the Kellogg's Music cereal is very surprising.
Hey, this is very surprising.
It's got plump raisins.
They are plump.
The flakes are very crispy in the Kellogg's Music.
It's crispy.
The crunchy almonds, the brown sugar, and the yummy dates.
It's yummy.
Surprise yourself with the fabulous taste of Kellogg's Mueslix.
No. Kellogg's Mueslix.
There's a proven winner in mustards. In a nationwide taste test, Best Foods Dijonnaise Creamy Mustard Blend beat the leading mustard by 2 to 1.
You know, when I opened up that lunchbox and I saw that my sweetheart had made that ham sandwich with delicious Best Foods Dijonnaise, well, I knew I was in love.
Oh, nothing beats my Best Foods Dijonnaise. You make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to
Introducing Fat-Free Promise Ultra. 0 fat with just 5 delicious calories a serving.
And every time I see you grin,
It's the first fat-free margarine. Definitely one of a kind.
you make me feel so young.
Regular or new fat-free Promise Ultra. Get heart smart.
When her boyfriend died, he left more than money in this bank.
I really wanted this baby.
Now there's a family feud over his frozen assets. Street Stories returns tonight at 9.
Under pressure from the U.S. and the West, the military ruler of Nigeria now says he is not trying to derail democracy. 2 days ago, the general threw out the results of a national election. Today, he said he will install an elected government on schedule in August, though he didn't say exactly how it would be elected. In South Africa, heavily armed white extremists tried to break up negotiations for a multiracial democracy. They stormed into the building where the talks are taking place, demanding a separate white state. Nobody was seriously hurt.
In the newly independent republics of what used to be the Soviet Union, the transition to democracy is rough going at best. Correspondent Cindy Kennard reports tonight from the Republic of Azerbaijan.
More and more, this is what's happening to democracy in the former Soviet Union. This week, it's Azerbaijan. Rebels rushed toward the capital to topple their democratically elected president. And today, the old Communist Party boss is back in power.
We've seen that in Georgia. We've seen that in Tajikistan. And maybe it is a trend.
Leaving dead and wounded in their path, rebels first seized the country's second largest city. They stopped their advance on the outskirts of the capital, Baku. We don't want to invade the city, he says. We're here to support Gaydar Aliyev. Once a major communist player, Aliyev is in charge again, at least for now. The outside world wonders for how long.
There is an anxiety about the dangers which would emerge from a prolonged vacuum of power.
This violent corner of the former Soviet Union should be the richest. The country is sitting on a sea of oil, and the West is impatient for the fighting to stop. It's billions of barrels of oil, a supply as big as Alaska's. Western oil companies, including Houston-based Pennzoil, had a deal for a piece of it. But today, Aliyev backed out.
And it's that uncertainty that most companies are waiting to see resolved before they bring in their numbers.
Still, political turmoil and an ugly war with neighboring Armenia continue. This week, Tofik Islamov was buried, 31 years old, killed at the front. A reminder that the post-communist era remains unpredictable and deadly. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, Baku.
Almost a year before they're in the water together. The grace and beauty of their relationship is made possible only by the trust and respect that it must come first. At Anheuser-Busch's SeaWorld Parks, our goal is to help make what's true of SeaWorld true of the people and animals of the whole world. Every year, we bring more than 10 million visitors a little closer to our dream. At Anheuser-Busch, that's our pledge and our promise.
Athlete's foot grows beneath the surface of your skin, so that's where you have to get to cure it. Mycotin is specially formulated to penetrate the skin surface with myconazole and kill the annoying fungus right where it starts. Mycotin penetrates, Mycotin cures.
I knew something must be wrong. I was getting these sharp pains, and sometimes pressure and bloating. I'm glad I asked my doctor. He said it was gas and recommended Mylanta Gas.
Mylanta Gas. It has the best medicine for gas.
The Canon Greater Hartford Open this weekend on CBS.
President Clinton needed all the help he could get when the Senate finally got around to voting today on a compromised version of his deficit reduction plan. As White House correspondent Susan Spencer reports, the vote could not have been closer.
Aides said the president killed time before the 3 a.m. vote watching Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, appropriate for a man who barely dodged a bullet.
The Senate being equally divided, the vice president votes in the affirmative, and the bill, H.R. 2264, is passed.
How close was it? Well, one senator just recovering from surgery was on standby if needed. But with so few wins in his pocket, Mr. Clinton wasn't minimizing this one.
Now both houses of Congress, under very difficult circumstances with the same old rhetoric of the last 12 years flying at them, had the courage to try to change this country for the better.
Before spending is cut and taxes raised, a conference committee has to hammer out differences between the Senate and the House. Expect some fireworks. The House voted for a broad energy tax, the Senate a gas tax. The House cuts Medicare, but the Senate cuts it by $10 billion more and drops new spending the House wanted.
I think the only chance for success and ultimate passage of the bill into law is to come down on the side of those, as I say, want more spending cuts and fewer tax increases.
Republicans say all who voted for higher taxes will pay.
Because the American people now know who's on their side and who's on the side of the biggest tax increase in the history of the world.
If this vote had been any closer, it would have been a loss. But White House aides suggest it's more evidence of a turnaround in Mr. Clinton's political fortunes. Seeing turnaround in one vote gives you some idea of where those political fortunes have been. Susan Spencer, CBS News, the White House.
Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, Eye on America. Tonight we'll take you out of Miami now and to business and Floridians just south of here who are fighting back against big odds to prove you can go home again.
Cadillac has the answers important to you. Can we all fit in your car?
Is everybody comfortable?
Isn't it nice to enjoy a little peace and quiet? Ask yourself what is important in a car. Then think of the car with all the answers. The Cadillac DeVille, which also offers a financial answer. A $449 a month lease for 24 months. The Cadillac DeVille, changing the way you think about American automobiles.
Everybody needs some.
$12 for every mile over the limit.
Everybody.
That's $300.
You can add fast, too.
When you need money fast.
Hello, Joan.
Only Western Union can get it to 16,000 locations in minutes. Nobody else even comes close.
French 101.
Something in my heart just told me.
And biology 903.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money. And to send money by credit card from home. Call us at 1-800-CALL-CASH.
My basic love of dogs and my experience breeding dogs makes me enjoy my career as a veterinarian even more.
David Qualls, top breeder of champion Siberian Huskies and doctor of veterinary medicine.
We give our dogs pedigree as a source of meat in their diet. When you open a can of Choice Cuts, there's big meaty chunks and a rich brown gravy. You can really smell the meatiness. Pedigree contains no soy. Pedigree is a very digestible and very nutritious dog food. For my money, Pedigree is the best dog food you can buy.
Pedigree, developed with vets, recommended by top breeders. There's a proven winner in mustards in a nationwide taste test. Best Foods Dijonnaise creamy mustard blend beat the leading mustard by 2 to 1.
Oh, nothing beats my Best Foods Dijonnaise.
My doctor said I didn't need surgery for my hemorrhoids. They weren't serious, and to use Preparation H.
Preparation H, trusted by millions to often help relieve the hemorrhoidal symptoms of itching, burning, and painful irritation for hours. Trust doctor-recommended Preparation H.
I came back to Florida today to follow up and follow through on one of the biggest stories of the decade. 10 months ago, the single costliest hurricane in American history in dollar terms devastated South Florida. Hurricane Andrew killed at least 55, did about $20 billion damage, damaged approximately 100,000 homes. Many of those were completely destroyed. When I sat down with Florida's Governor Lawton Chiles today, he told me that within hours after the storm struck, satellite observation images, pictures, showed how great the devastation was. But, problem, those pictures didn't become known to decision makers at the state and federal level for days. The technology was great, human communications lousy. Perhaps nowhere was the devastation greater than where I'm standing, the place we've come back to for tonight's Eye on America. It's not Jurassic Park. It's Country Walk in South Dade County, where last summer Hurricane Andrew laid waste to an American dream. Country Walk was a place of middle-class homes, white picket fences, and plenty of space for the kids to play and grow, until the hurricane roared.
It was so loud, and it just sounded so ferocious. You know, it was just weird.
Angela Huntley, her husband Charles, and daughters Jenna and Nicole rode out the storm, hiding in the bathroom.
We lost the house when we were in the bathroom.
As their house collapsed around them, the girls can't put it behind them.
Now she just doesn't like being alone. There are times she won't go to the bathroom by herself.
As it turns out, the trauma was due as much to a corrupt system as to nature's destructive power. Other towns closer to the center of the storm suffered less damage. When the people of Country Walk asked why, many discovered that their homes were very poorly constructed. Flimsy shelters that collapsed like cardboard in the wind. Nearly all were condemned, and this community became a national symbol of shoddy building practices.
I was very bitter when we sat down with the architect and told us all the faults in my home. I cried again, and I was mad.
But incredibly, despite all the anger and the hurt, the Huntleys and many of their neighbors are back in Country Walk today, rebuilding the place where they put down their roots.
When they say, "Are you rebuilding?" I say, "Yes." You'd be surprised, the reaction. Like, "You're rebuilding? You're going back to Country Walk?" And I'm like, damn right. Yeah, why wouldn't I go back? I liked it before.
Are you going to school?
State mental health workers say it's that kind of attitude that's raising a new community from the rubble.
The people that stayed really do have that pioneer spirit, and that's fantastic. And that's what gave them the impetus to hang on through the worst times and gave them kind of just the will to go on.
But that will is constantly tested by the stress of rebuilding and reminders of how vulnerable this community is. 3 months ago, a torrential rainstorm hit Country Walk.
They were diving for closets and going under beds and were very stressed out. They actually had the flashbacks that they were going to relive the hurricane again.
Now those echoes of Andrew's winds are giving way to another sound.
I think yes, another one. It's a good feeling. It is a good feeling. It's a good sound.
Diane Squires lost her landscaping business, but now she and her husband are back, replanting and rebuilding.
They always used to say, if you add on to your house, you know, it's either going to make or break your marriage. Well, now we had to add a whole house in there. And so the relationships are stronger than ever.
And every day, the community of Country Walk also grows stronger, taking its strength from pioneers like Chuck and Kim Young.
Here's your choice.
They're finally home today.
It was a feeling of we had to stay and